Hello everyone, welcome back to Gent Watches, and today we're going to be continuing with Classroom of the Elite. This will be episode 5. So episode 4, we had, there was the crush scene where the person had a crush on Ichinose and Ichinose wanted to turn her down. And we had some more like Kushida weirdness, like she's back to being sort of the, you know, quote-unquote friendly sweet girl, but we know that there's something else going on underneath with her. And we ended it with Sakura, who is a newly introduced to the audience character who is basically like has some sort of secret, but we don't quite know it yet, but it has to do with the camera, I'm pretty sure, and she thinks that like no one can find out about this. Now, I had some speculations in the last video, but I'm just gonna let those go and just see what the show presents to me and see how it goes. But I mean, it better be good, because Sudo's whole schooling is at stake here, and in fact, the whole class is at stake here. So if it's just that you have an OnlyFans account, come on, we're okay with that. We're fine with that. We don't care about that. Anyway. Let's just jump into episode 5 of Classroom of the Elite. Hell is other people. That's a short title. Thank you. My god, their titles have been so long.
Kushida's one of those.
Yeah.
Even if she enters someone's close phase, she manages not to trigger an aversive reaction. Could have resisted Kushida.
That's an interesting little bit of insight.
Reason. Well, why did I have to come?
I need you too.
Man,
why? Is this on campus? Because surely they should be able to buy stuff on campus, even repairing.
Sakura's scared of strangers. Of course this guy would freak her out.
And your cell phone number.
Okay. Alright.
Are you alright?
Just... what's his name should do it. Kiyotaka should do it. Doesn't really matter who does it.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
What? Hey, wait a minute. The camera belongs to her, doesn't it? I don't think we can do that.
Why not?
I'm not comfortable with this. Are you sure about that?
I love Kiyotaka's
I guess we can do that this time.
confidence. It's great. Like, he just tells people how it is.
No need to force anything either. Right, I won't. I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna go freshen up.
I know. I'm scared of Kushida, but I also still really like her.
If you need some advice, I think Kushida's more versed in this kind of stuff. She showed up for you today, but she doesn't seem to fully trust Kushida. Maybe she's more perceptive than most.
That'd be interesting.
You said, I think you already know what to do.
Yeah. If you'd regret
Don't do
it,
for
then
Sudo,
don't.
Or Kushida, or for any of our classmates, and testify for your sake alone.
You mean do the right thing for me?
That's motivation enough.
Very logical dude.
Sorry for taking
Do it
so
for
long
a
to
selfish
get-
reason.
Oh, hey, would you mind terribly if I swung by your room a little later tonight?
Why? What are you gonna do?
Does this girl look familiar to you?
Does she actually have an OnlyFans account? Like, not actually OnlyFans, but you know.
Is that Sakura?
Is that the
It's hard to
vibe?
say if it's her. I thought it was strange that she was
Is
wearing
she a
fake glasses.
cosplayer?
But now it makes perfect sense. There's no distortion behind the lenses.
Ooh, very
She's wearing
perceptive.
them to disguise her. Ayana Koji, are you sure you're not trying to hide anything from me?
Oh, you'll want to talk. I'm hiding the fact that I'm terrified when I'm in a room with you.
Sent out the notification.
What's the matter with you?
What do you mean, what's the matter?
He's allowed to do whatever he wants on his day off.
Face at the moment.
You hesitate when I ask for a favor, but when Kushida does, you gladly jump for her. I'm analyzing
Does he
rationally and
hesitate?
precisely what factors account for the disparity.
Your presence is appreciated.
Hmm.
Now, first of all,
This looks like this could be a very biased.
The student council president attending arbitration over a little brawl such as this one? As a rule, though, I try to attend.
Oh, of course. A coincidence.
Indeed.
Horikita wasn't
There's
expecting
already
her brother
a
to
lot
be
of
here.
tension.
You wouldn't stop
Horikita.
running your mouths and you're jealous that I got bumped up to first string. You always try to sabotage me in practice,
Silence,
but
please. Return to your seat. Without any new evidence
Oh,
or
he did it.
testimony, we will proceed.
Come on, Harikita.
Quite apparent.
Lacks credibility due to Sudo's absence of injuries, and the plaintiff's physical condition supports the.
Oops.
Stop it!
Loosening her up. Yeah, do it.
I beg your pardon. Before we break, I would like to question the witnesses. Would that be acceptable?
President?
I will allow it.
Yeah, you gotta let them speak their case.
The first question.
I brought him because I wanted extra protection.
Protection.
Yeah,
Everyone
from
in
what?
school knows what a violent guy Sudo can be.
For him to beat you so soundly, especially with Ishizaki at your back defending you, doesn't quite add up.
Hmm.
It does. He only beat us because we didn't want to get into a fight.
If you didn't want to fight, why would you go knowing Sudo's propensities?
And why
If
would you
weren't
bring
fighting
a
back,
fighter?
Why would all three of you end up with such severe injuries?
Common sense tells me Horikita has a good point.
You can't use common sense with Sudo. He doesn't operate that way. He's a violent, unpredictable psychopath.
This is so
Well,
entertaining.
because someone witnessed the entire fight.
Sakura?
Welcome, miss.
Yes.
Sakura ID.
Sakura.
Yeah.
I'm from class 1D. Because
Honestly, Class D students are all the same.
I promise this is the truth.
Oh.
If all we needed was someone who'd lie, why would we choose a girl like Sakura who hates to speak up?
Perhaps
Yeah.
to add an air of credibility to your case. She's weak-willed, so you manipulate.
We're not.
That's not what's going on.
Just look at how hard she's trembling over there. You put such a burden on her.
I have real proof. I
Ooh.
saw the fight. I'll prove
It's on the
it.
camera?
It's Tuesday. See for yourself.
Okay, good. The SD card did survive. I thought so.
Let's see it.
Yes.
Whoa! This room has got like a projector in it or something?
I
Yeah.
was there that afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
I hope
Sheesh.
this one will be proof enough. I told you that I was telling the truth.
Just took a selfie in front of the fight. I think the idea is she took a selfie and the fight happened to have like go into the background frame. I don't think she saw the fight and then
It seems that
decided
you
to take a
were
selfie.
indeed present in the special annex on the day in question. That you really witnessed everything that happened.
But
It's more witnesses than y'all have.
So then, I propose a compromise. I recommend a 2-week suspension for Sudo, and a 1-week suspension for the Class C students.
If Sakura hadn't come forward with her testimony,
Sounds
Sudo
fair
would
on
have
the
been suspended
surface,
for
but
a month at the very least. It
but
is a good
no.
bargain, actually.
Yeah, but
Ms. Chabashir,
I don't want it.
Does that idea sound satisfactory to you?
It would appear we have reached an agreement that will suffice.
No, but
Sakura.
oh, Harikita, fight for it.
Ms.
Come on.
Horikita, as the representative of Class D,
Horikita?
In regards to the incident we're discussing right now, that's different. I
Mhm.
truly believe Sudo is free of all guilt in the matter.
Oh.
I assert that he is innocent.
Nice, Harikita.
premeditated setup.
I'm appalled at the pathetic behavior on display right now. Nothing
Uh-huh.
can be settled unless the liars come forward. Very well then, I will announce my decision tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If I receive no amended statements, as in admission of guilt, nor proof of your opponent's guilt by then, I will be putting expulsion on the table as well.
Oh.
That is all.
I should have just spoken up from the very beginning about what I saw.
It's okay.
I'm not brave.
You did just fine. It's okay.
But it's
Oh.
not.
You mean Suzune went out on a limb today? She truly believes he's innocent?
I guess it's a radical idea. I believe every word.
I see. Well, in that case.
I love the reflexes.
Guess you'll find out tomorrow.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, this is gonna be Sakura, right? Yep, sure is. In deliberation. Man, we might take over C after this case if we win. You know, I think one of my favorite parts of this show is just Kiyotaka's entire attitude towards, like, other people. He's not threatened by other people when they're threatening him, you know? And it's just so incredibly satisfying when, in a scene like that, when the student council president, who is clearly a very high status, like maybe the most high status person in the school, someone who is very important and sees himself as so important and is important in Horikita's life, and is like just generally has a lot of like swagger about him. When he's going in a verbal battle of wits with Kiyotaka is unfazed. He doesn't change his expression. He keeps his hands in his pockets. He leans against the wall. He just keeps the same tone the entire time and just states it how it is. And I love it. I think it's so great. It's so entertaining to watch because we don't have to worry about Kiyotaka, you know? Of course, Kiyotaka, like, it doesn't mean that Kiyotaka is the perfect character. I do think he still has flaws within him. I just think his flaws aren't social flaws, you know, or at least the way he presents himself. Because the way he presents himself is very effective for doing what he wants to do, which is always whatever's most logical. And I love it. I think that's so cool. And I was just, the whole last half of the episode, I was just so happy. I was so incredibly happy. And then also just the way he like steps up in moments that he needs to, like when Sakura is like about to give away her phone number to this random dude, and he's like, "No, you know what? I'll do it." And he signs it instead, and then he just like basically corners the guy in a way that it's like, you can't possibly say no to this unless you're going to admit that you're being a creep, you know? So yeah, that is just so good. I'm curious about what next episode is going to be like, because I mean, I loved this episode. I also do feel like, you know, it's an unfair system because Class D already looked down upon, you know. So it is kind of guilty until proven innocent, because Horikita was right. She was like, the burden of proof lies on you, and everyone just brushed over that and ignored it. But like, it does, you know, they're the ones making all the accusations. But of course it's a hard situation, especially when you have 3 people who have injuries claiming something against one guy who has not only no injuries but also no reputation either. So I can understand why it would be stacked against them, but just the fact that it's Class C versus Class D on its own in a school which seems to care a lot about status, and the school actually forces them to care about status by having them be active rankings against one another and have them be competing against one another. So, like, yeah, of course they would take the rankings of the class into it, you know? I wonder what our teacher's whole deal is, because does she want to move up? I feel like teachers would have as much stake in this, or at least similar stake in this to students, in that they actually want to move up. They want to be the teachers who are in charge of the higher classes. I'm sure it comes with more prestige, and it shows that you're a better educator. It's gotta suck being at the bottom, doesn't it? But she seems not only unfazed by it, but she doesn't seem to be pushing people to move up. Like, she's probably trying her best as an educator, but like, I don't sense any like major passion in it, you know? Like, she almost gets a kick out of seeing her students down at the bottom. And that's interesting. Like, what is her motives? And I bring that up because, like, in this episode, the teacher who was in charge of classroom C was very willing to go above and beyond. Like, they didn't have a student representative. And if they did, they weren't speaking up. The teacher was the one doing all the arguments. And yet Horikita was the one doing all the arguments for Class D. And basically the one time the teacher spoke up was like, yeah, you're right, to Class C. And it's like, wow, why? Why is she doing that? I'm very curious about that. And I wonder, because she also seemed to be proud of Kiyotaka when Kiyotaka, like, tickled Horikita essentially to get her to snap out of the slump that she was in. And like, she gave a look there that was like, you did the right thing. But it's like, but you're still not helping. So does she just want her class to earn it? So she doesn't want to move up, but she doesn't want to do any legwork in that. She wants her class to do all of it. Like, that's potentially a motive, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm curious. Like, I don't love the teacher character. I don't want an entire episode dedicated on her, but I would like to just know what she's about. I would like to see if they would just show glimpses of what her motives might be, you know? Anyway, that was a good episode. I am really loving this show, like, surprisingly so. I'm finding it so satisfying. So that is Classroom of the Elite episode 5. Thank you for joining me for this episode. Please make sure to like the video. It really helps me out. And comment down below if you liked the episode, if you liked the reaction, if you have suggestions for the channel. All that stuff can go in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. It'll help both of us. So it will be a great deal for you and me. You'll get to know when my videos come out. I get to grow my channel. You get better videos because I grew my channel. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.